All right, I want to bring in my guest for this hour, joining us from Los Angeles, California, appellate attorney Matthew Barhoma. Matthew, again, great to see you. Thanks for being on the show. And you know, there's nothing about this sentence that makes sense to me, not the reasons behind it, the rationale. None of it really made any sense to me. Certainly the family can't make sense of it. I want to get your thoughts on this sentence.
Yeah, I hear you, Michael. People are divided over this sentence all over the place. I think the nation is divided, quite frankly. But this judge took in some major factors and actually brings us right back to the fact that this judge has a lot of discretion when it comes to sentencing. She's taken in specific factors. She's analyzed what a standard manslaughter case looks like and said this is not that a standard. It's not, she doesn't fit the profile of a standard manslaughter defendant. And I think that she's handed down a sentence based on that.
Well, let's begin right there. A standard manslaughter case. Manslaughter is one of those charges, Matthew, that it can look like anything. It can come in all shapes, sizes, and colors. It's really about the conduct of the individual. And so, again, it can come in many different ways. So saying that it doesn't meet a standard manslaughter case, I had a problem. We could start right there with that idea. Yeah. You know, what's standard about it? I've termed this a judge nullification. And the reason I've done that is because she basically took what this jury said, and they had options with lesser included in various things. They chose the first-degree manslaughter. They looked at her background. They looked at the training. And I submit that what the prosecution proved was that all of that made this a more serious crime. That's what made this a crime. And she took it and turned it all around and said, this is why I'm going to downward depart from the sentencing guidelines. It made no sense to me.
Yeah, you know, absolutely. This feels like a jury override. I agree with you there, Michael. She's overgone, basically, what this jury really intended. They intended to get a conviction. They intended for her to have a lengthy sentence. And she's been handed down a lower sentence. Now, manslaughter is one of those things that has subjective with objective elements. It's all over the place. And, you know, what is standard in this kind of thing? I mean, we have presumptive guidelines for sentencing for exactly this kind of thing. And it's a metric, right? And so what this judge really did is she looked at that metric and she said, well, I think she falls here. And at this stage, you know, she's taken in all reasonable consideration. You heard the family members speak. They're all a factor of it, all the victim impact statements. It's ceremonial in nature. And ultimately, she's decided, you know, I'm going to beat that preemptive, standard sentence, and I'm going to go below it. And that's exactly what she's done.
I'll tell you what, Dante's mom, she had some thoughts on what this judge might have been looking at. Let's listen to what she had to say.
We are standing here to say that we're very disappointed in the outcome. Yes, we got a conviction, and we thank everybody for that. But again, this isn't okay. This is the problem with our justice system today. White women tears trumps.
Wow.
Trumps justice. And I thought my white women tears would be good enough because they're true and genuine. But when they're coerced, coached, and taught by the defense attorney, I guess we didn't have a win in this at all. Thank you.
There it is, Matthew. There it is. I immediately thought of Amber Geiger, the tears that happened there, the judge hugging her. I thought even of Lindley Rennick. Now, that's not this type of case, but again, the tears and the jury taking it easy on her in that case, giving her a 13-year sentence for murdering her husband. And you hear this woman talk about white women's tears. The judge is crying as she's giving her the sentence. Your thoughts on that particular aspect of this case?
You know, I actually appreciate the fact that this judge cried. It showed you that she really, you know, this isn't something she pulled out of thin air. She really thought about it, and it's messed with her emotionally. But, you know, another thing that we can also really counter on and really consider is how much remorse Kim Potter has shown. She's expressed a lot of remorse. You see all the crying. Now, I understand Daunte Wright's mom, she doesn't empathize with that, and I think rightfully so, right? She had some really harsh words to say about that. And ultimately, you know, our biggest level of sentencing, really what we do is we look to deter, you know, bad behavior. We also look for precedents and things of the sort. And here we've set the kind of precedent that said, you know, if it's an accidental discharge, she has a lot of training, and this judge has decided to step away from it. And that's the kind of precedent we're sending when it comes to a sentence like this. Is it fair? Is it not? It's a lot to untangle when it comes to a case as gray area as this one.